Hi, this is Andrea Perrin. You're listening to Glenda's Dragon's Den, where everything is wild and untamed.
Hi, welcome to Glenda's Dragon's Den. I'm Glenda, your host. With me today, of course, I have my co-host and producer Ashley and my Dragon Wrangler LD. I want to again give my sincere appreciation to last week's special guest, a distinguished author, both of fiction and nonfiction, and a very close friend, Andrea Perrin, for a phenomenal show. I also want to thank everyone that listened and participated in the chat room. Love all your comments, your feedback. Please keep them coming and continue chatting in the chat room. It's open. I don't want to send my dragon out there, really. So, Ashley, how was your week?
It was a good week. Had my own show this past Thursday, which was super fun. And we got our shirts in, finally, if you can see them on the camera. It's my Geeked Out show. So if you like video games and anime and everything in between, check us out on Thursday nights.
What time?
It is from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Cool. Now, did you get affected by the super warm moon?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a super moon. Super full moon.
It's just normal insanity on my week.
Okay. How about you, LD? I hear that you have an update for us.
Yes, and I want to thank last week's guest, Andrea Perrin. Apparently, I'm going to eat the mic.
Nobody can hear you.
Oh, nobody wants to do that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
He's right.
Yeah. Andrea told us about her cat, Little Gray, and Little Gray did come home, but Little Gray has already had surgery and is going to be needing a little more surgery. Little Gray has a dislocated hip, a broken hip, and a cracked vertebrae. So a little later in the show, I will be letting people know where the animal hospital is in the Atlanta area, and if you want to send some good energy in the direction of Little Gray, that'd be awesome. And Glenda, would you like to introduce our guest?
Sure. Today, for everybody that's tuning in, we're going to be discussing Shiatsu, which is a form of therapy of Japanese origin. And it's really based on the same principles as acupuncture, but guess what? No needles. That is why I love it. And joining with me here today is my very good friend, Master Renard Cohen, who's been practicing and teaching Shiatsu for over 40 plus years. Renard?
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day today.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about Shiatsu and how it has influenced your life.
Well, Shiatsu is Japanese acupressure massage. And like you said, I've been doing it for about 45 years. I guess it was in around 1973 that I met a Japanese Zen priest, Shiatsu, an acupuncture master named Ruho Yamada. And it's kind of an interesting story how I met him. But interestingly enough, my first introduction to anything related to Shiatsu had nothing to do with Ruho. I was living in San Francisco around that time, around 1973, and I was online at the bank waiting to make a deposit. And I had this terrible headache. And I asked around the people online, and online doesn't mean what it did. That meant actually standing online at the bank. And I said, has anybody got an aspirin? I got a terrible headache. Nobody said anything. And finally this guy comes over and he says, I don't have any aspirin, but if you will trust me, I'd like to show you something. And he took my hand in his hand, and he did what we call rolling the fingers. And Glenda knows that because
Yes.
Glenda was in my Shiatsu class, and we tried it. And I don't know if I can explain it on... Well, you're seeing me. That's right. Okay, for those who can see. What he did was he took the last... from the last knuckle, I guess that's a knuckle, isn't it, down, and he kind of rolled my fingers pretty hard, like on the, not the flat part, but the side part, back and forth, pretty hard. Mm-hmm. And, once I got over the shock of what is he doing, my headache started to go away. It started to ease up. And by the time he was done, all my fingers, the headache was gone. And I was amazed.
Well, that was very brave of you, because in San Francisco, if a guy walks up to you in a bank and says, "If you trust me, I'm going to show you something."
You're right. That was very brave or very stupid. Whatever. It worked out well, and I've actually helped hundreds of people since that time get rid of headaches. And so try it yourself sometime. If you can see what I'm doing, you just roll pretty hard. You can do it to yourself. That's right. You do it to others, but you can do it to yourself, and you can actually feel a lightness, a release of tension in your head. And, okay, so that happened.
So physiologically, what's happening when you do that?
I don't know. I'm sure that it's related to the acupuncture meridians.
So you're basically unblocking an energy meridian.
Yeah, well, if you know anything about reflexology, hand and foot reflexology, you understand that there are points at all throughout. So I believe that it has something to do with that, okay? It also, it's an energy thing, but I believe it's also a physiological thing as well. If you think about the end of your fingers, that is the extremity of where, and the toes, is where the blood flow is stopping and ending, and then it goes back in. And so what you're doing whenever you use any kind of pressure, and we'll talk about this later when we talk more specifically about the shiatsu, is when you cause a pressure to happen and then let go, it causes a flow of blood to that area. And what does the blood carry? Oxygen. Mm-hmm. So what you're doing is you're oxygenating the area, and you're increasing the blood flow, not even thinking about the oriental idea of the meridians and the energy flow, which is also important, but physiologically. And then beyond that, I don't know. I just know that it works. And it worked for me that day in the bank. Mm-hmm. And, I went home with it. No, I didn't go home with it. But it was amazing to me how this worked immediately. And so fast forward a few months, and I living in San Francisco, but I'm from the East Coast, from New York area, Long Island. And I had flown home. It was about the holidays, and I had flown home to see my family, and I get a call from this friend of mine, and she says, "There's going to be this Zen priest coming over to my house to do a demonstration of something called shiatsu, if you want to come." And I said, "Well, I have something to do. Can I come late?" And she said, "Yeah, come when you can." So I get there, and the thing is over, but they're all drinking tea. But my friend's boyfriend at the time was a pianist, and he had this great grand piano. Now, I'm a musician and a pianist and a composer and all that stuff. So I go, and I didn't meet Ryoho yet. I mean, I heard he was there, and I heard I missed the thing. So I'm starting to play and closing my eyes, and I'm playing. And my music, a lot of times when I'm playing, is kind of very floaty and, emotional or whatever. I open my eyes, and he's sitting right next to me on the piano bench. I didn't even know he was there. And he says to me, "Rats of healing power, you should do shiatsu." Okay.
So he's Yoda, if I...
Yeah, exactly. But he looked...
Oh, no, Yoda would say, "Shiatsu, you should do."
You should do. Right. Now, I don't know if you had a picture of Ryoho. I don't know if we can see it, but he looked like a Japanese John Lennon. Very beautiful face. He must have been at that time, maybe he was 30 or something. And so I said, well, thank you very much, but, I'm living in California now. Maybe someday. Okay, so I go back to California, and I am. Now you got to remember, this is like 1973 in San Francisco, so you can imagine the headspace. Very nice. We're living with a bunch of musicians. I lived in a place that we called the Home for the Musically Insane.
Interesting.
There was it was one of these Victorian beautiful houses, and I had a room, and next to me was a classical guitarist, and on the other side of him was a jazz flautist, and the guy who was the landlord was a conductor, a music conductor, and the two, the jazz flautist and the classical guitarist were both Nichiren Shoshu Buddhists. So the morning would start, 6 a.m. you hear, dong, and then 6:15, bong, the other side would start, and there'd be this chanting, and then, they'd get on, and then they'd put Coltrane on, and it was, so that was the environment. And so we were in a van, tilted, the streets in San Francisco are tilted, so we're in a van. The van had a piano harp in it, the inside of a piano. Okay. And we're making a recording. We're playing it with chopsticks and forks and spoons and just doing all kinds of stuff. And all of a sudden, I hear bang, bang, bang on the side of the van. Oh, God, we bothered somebody. I look out, and there's Ryoho, the Shiatsu Master I had met. I get out. And they had found me. My friend who invited me to the house came with him all the way, and they had found me in this van making a recording. So we go back to my apartment, and standing there, and I offered them some tea, and I'm standing at the sink, getting the water ready, and all of a sudden, now Ryoho is like across the room, I see his finger connected to him, come flying across the room and lands at a point in my back. And standing there at the sink, he gives me this incredible standing up shiatsu. And I learned later that in Japan, the shiatsuists go to the farms and the factories, and they can work on people standing up in 5 minutes. They do their whole body using the gravity of their body. And so that's what he did. He just it was just amazing. Okay, so that was my other introduction into the power of what shiatsu was, the feeling. It was like electric. And then one of my roommates, he said, "Can I work on you?" He worked on this guy, and this guy started crying and going through. He said he was having this incredible release, and all this stuff was coming out of him. So needless to say, I was pretty impressed with Ryoho and what he could do. And shortly after that, I moved out of the apartment there in San Francisco, and we opened a place in Berkeley. Got a house in Berkeley with no furniture, just beautiful hardwood floors. And that became the Lotus Shiatsu Dojo. There you go. And that's where we did classes, and I became Ryoho's kind of right-hand man, which is good for shiatsu because you use your hands a lot. And it was an amazing experience doing classes, doing treatments. There were, in the basement, there was a little apartment, and some Japanese folks who were friends of ours were living down there, and they were making Japanese food. And that's where I learned to take baths. And the Japanese people love hot baths in the morning. That's their tradition. And so I would be taking a bath, and somebody would jump in and do my back. Oh, not only do my back, but scrub your back like the Japanese with this loofah. It was just an amazing experience. And so I got to travel all around with him, San Francisco, Oregon, places in between, doing shiatsu classes for like 100 people on a mountainside, and in San Francisco and all around. And it was a great experience. He was just, his story is kind of interesting. He was living in Tassajara Monastery, which is a Zen monastery in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And he was sitting zazen, which is this very intense meditation where you stare at the wall for 8 hours a day. Okay, and he was going through a period of that. And then all of a sudden he got this inclination to leave. And he did. And he went into the world, and he tried everything. He tried hamburgers. He tried smoking. Everything that had been deprived in that very austere life of a Zen priest, right, he decided to try. And he did. And he tried everything until someone turned him on to, let's put it, the fashionable exotic releases that was going on in San Francisco at the time, and you can fill in the blanks. Okay. We only later realized that Lotus Shiatsu Dojo had the initials of something that... Anyway, so he took this and he said it zapped him right back to where he was sitting zazen for all those hours. And it became kind of a tool. Mm-hmm. And this was back in those days, you know, when I don't even think it was illegal yet. It was when Leary was doing his stuff. And anyway, so that became a conduit into working with this energy in a very visual, very real, very significant way. And so I learned a lot. And like I said, we traveled and did these classes, and I lost contact with him after about 2 years, and unfortunately he died probably about 10 years after that of colon cancer. I mean, but he had done stuff all over the world, and many people knew him, and he's got many people who he taught shiatsu all over the world who are continuing what I learned from him. And as Glenda knows from the Shiatsu class, the interesting and unique thing about the way he taught us, and I developed something after that called Lotus Shiatsu, and Lotus was the unfolding lotus, yes, the 1,000-petal lotus. You keep going deeper and deeper into something. Well, anyway, Ryoho being a Zen priest, you know, Zen with the formlessness and the wonder, and don't tie me down to diagrams. And okay, so you can have in your mind acupuncture, and we've all seen the acupuncture charts with all the meridians and the points and this point and that point and the needles and too much energy and not enough energy. So when we said to Ryoho, when do we learn what point is for what? He would say, that's just theory. Just do shiatsu. And so he taught us using a very basic diagrams of a simple pattern to breathe, to open our minds, to connect with the person we're working on, and using these very simple diagrams down the arm, down the sections of the back, the feet, the legs, you know, the face, just basic patterns, easy to remember, we were able to learn to do, and Glenda will attest to this, incredible treatments, keeping in mind always the key energy, that healing energy that's shooting out the end of the fingers. And so
it's a beautiful dance.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
And easy to learn.
Energy, you feel the energy, you feel the healing, you feel the Zen.
You can.
Yes.
And that reminds me of the first time I met Glenda.
Well, before we get there, we have to go to break.
Yes.
A cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger, a tease.
Okay.
And we will be right back to Glenda's Dragon's Den.
You or someone you love suffers from drug or alcohol addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan to receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits so that you have low or no out-of-pocket costs. We quickly help you verify your health insurance coverage amounts for substance abuse treatment so you can prepare for immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center now. Select from locations nationwide while receiving up to $30,000 or more in coverage through your private health insurance PPO plan if eligible. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier matching service available 24/7. We help you use your PPO private health insurance with low or no out-of-pocket costs.
Call now, 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. That's 800-961-2480.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-470-1834. 800-470-1834. 800-470-1834. That's 800-470-1834.
When I need a cut, I go to Diamond Cuts. Ain't no half cutting there. Oh, yeah. Woo, man, at Diamond Cuts, their barbers got the freshest styles. Anything from fades, scissors, high tops, blowouts, shape-up, tape-ups, and much more. Their barbers can cut men, women, children, young and old. Stop by Diamond Cut at 144 Pocono Boulevard in Mount Pocono, PA. Or just call at 570-216-4912. Ain't no half cutting there, baby paw. Yo, Stan, yo, Ant, yo, Black, yo, Light Skin, yo, E, where y'all at?
Attention, this important consumer alert is brought to you by Annuity Action Network. Hey, did you know it's possible to receive upfront money from your monthly settlement payments? It's true. If you receive monthly payments from an annuity or a structured settlement and you need a lump sum immediately, then you need to call Annuity Action Network. With your cash today, you can pay off credit card debt, pay medical bills, fund your education, or improve your home. You don't need to wait. Call the Annuity Action Network now to get your fast cash with no hidden costs. And if you call today, we'll even send you a $100 cash gift card just for verifying your settlement payments and your contact information. If you have a structured settlement or an annuity and you want cash now, call Annuity Action Network right now.
800-296-1553. 800-296-1553. That's 800-296-1553. Funding subject to approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
Hi, this is Andrea Perrin. You're listening to Glenda's Dragon's Den, where everything is wild and untamed.
Welcome back to Glenda's Dragon's Den. And for those of you that were following me in the beginning about Little Gray, she is at New Georgia Animal Hospital, 6101 Villa Rica Highway in Dallas, Georgia. So if you'd like to send her a card to see how she's doing, I know that the surgeries and all are weighing on her. They wanted her to rest for about a week before this next surgery coming up so she could regain a little bit of strength. But unfortunately right now, her tail is paralyzed, and those of you who know kitties, that's pretty extreme. So the wonderful people at the animal hospital are taking very, very good care of her, and we hope to see her running around as soon as possible. With that, anyone who's interested in checking out Glenda's Magical Creations, you can go to glendasdragonsden.com, and there's a link to there. You can link to Glenda's Magical Creations there. Glenda offers various services, and she can clue you into what classes she has. You can reach out and contact her personally if you have a personal question for your spiritual needs there, as well as Glenda has other links. She has a link to her aromatherapy site. She has a link as well to her self-defense site, her non-lethal self-defense site, and to her CBD oil site. Those are all buttons that you can find on Glenda's Dragon's Den. So let's throw it back to Glenda and Renard. Renard's going to tell us how he met Glenda.
So, we are in the Poconos here, for those who don't know, and I was, and still am part of...
You blew my cover,
I
Renard.
sorry.
That's
Okay. You'll have to go back into the witness protection.
If we hear sirens, we'll know they got me.
So I was, and still am part of a dramatics group that is has a home at the Unitarian Fellowship there in Stroudsburg, and for some reason our rehearsal got cut short that day, and I heard that there was a Reiki class going on upstairs, and I had some nice Reiki treatments in the past, and I thought, oh, Reiki class, that sounds nice. I walked upstairs, and I poked my head in the room, and I said, do you mind if I join you? And this very nice group of people who were just buzzing away with energy said, sure, come on in. And I sat down, and immediately felt great energy and kindred spirits. I've been doing Shiatsu then for almost 40 years, and the Shiatsu that I was taught from Ryoho works primarily with the healing energy, what we call ki. The Japanese say ki, the Chinese say chi, and that is the healing force energy. The Indians, the Hindus say prana. Okay, and so visualizing this energy moving and working, I understand, is very similar to the energy, the healing energy that's used in Reiki.
I just want to clarify for a minute. I believe what you walked into was a Reiki clinic.
Yes.
Glenda's Reiki classes are private, and
thank you.
No, that's all right. I just and she's conducting them now at her office.
Great.
But yeah,
this was then.
Yeah, but it was a clinic.
Got it.
And I just want everyone who's interested in taking the classes to understand that they are not open to the public.
Cool. Got it. Okay, so...
Go ahead, Glenda. You were going to say something.
That's okay.
All right.
I was going to...
Clarify it?
Yep.
So anyway, when I walked in and I joined the clinic and began to breathe with everybody and share energy, I think we could all feel that there was just really this great flow. And they didn't know who I was. They didn't know that I did Shiatsu. They didn't know anything. And when the clinic was done and I spoke a little bit about the Shiatsu and that I was going to be doing a Shiatsu class there in that same place, Glenda was one of my first students, and it was just very nice, a very nice sharing, very nice exchange. And let me tell you something, to have a Reiki master of the degree that Glenda is validate my Shiatsu was just beautiful for me. So thank you. Grandmaster, what do I know? Okay, but yes, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And so it really was very special for me that you could see me and feel what I was doing.
And it's amazing because that's how I felt when I was taking your classes. It's your experience, your dedication to Shiatsu, and to say, yes, I'm taking this, and to feel that energy in your classes also. So it's it's a really good exchange of energy all around.
Speaking of energy and exchange, as Glenda knows, one of the primary things the first thing that I teach in the class is breathing. Mm-hmm. And I would like to share that with you all who are listening if I can. It's very important, and I know we've all been breathing probably most of the time we've been alive. However, for most of us, although we knew how to do it as a baby, we lose the art. And I would like to reacquaint you with the art in a very short amount of time here.
Please do.
I will. Well, you watch a baby lying on her back, and you see the belly raise and lower, raise and lower. As a baby, we knew how to do it, okay? And as gravity takes its toll, as stress takes its toll, so many people, when I say, okay, take a deep breath, you see their shoulders raise up.
Yep.
The shoulders have nothing to do with breathing. So it's just an indication of how we've lost connection. So very simply, here's the way you do it. And this breathing that I'm going to talk about is what the runners use, the opera singers, the martial artists, and that is breathing from the belly. Okay, I call it belly breaths. You've heard the term breathe from the diaphragm, but you can't feel your diaphragm, so it's very misleading. But you can feel your belly, okay? And so what anybody listening want to try this, what you do is you kind of push the air out of your stomach, however you can, and now, instead of just trying to breathe in, push your belly button away from your spine. And as you do that, you can't help but have a column of air come shooting in instantly. And then to exhale, you do the opposite. You push your belly button towards your spine, emptying the balloon, and it comes out. Now you've created a vacuum. When it comes the other way, it all comes back in. Now, the crucial thing for this kind of breathing, it works on a number of different levels. One of them is the physiological level. You're actually changing your body chemistry with this breathing. There are two systems that are going on in the body. There's the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is what is brought into play when the fight or flight syndrome happens. You see a saber-toothed tiger there up on the rock, and you got to get out of there. And all your muscles tighten up, and you run, and you're breathing shallowly because, that's what's going on. And what happens is it shoots these endorphins into your blood that are stressful, but you need it for action. That's not how you want to live. Unfortunately, many of us live like that because somebody cuts you off when you're driving, or somebody steps on your toe, or whatever it is, and we don't have a mechanism for getting rid of that fight or flight response. The other syndrome is called the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, what happens in that, when you breathe from the belly, it employs the parasympathetic nervous system, which puts calming endorphins into your blood. So you're actually changing your body chemistry, and you can actually feel your stress level lessen when you do this breathing. Okay, so just very simply, again, the way I teach it is clasp your hands lightly over your belly. Push your belly button towards your spine as you exhale. And then you inhale by pushing your belly button away from your spine. And you'll feel the balloon. It's like a bagpiper. You'll feel the balloon fill up. And if you do that breathing... Now, my suggestion to you, to those who are listening, don't make this breathing just for meditation, just for when you think about it. Try to train yourself. Did you get it, Glenda,
yes.
when you did it?
Oh, yes.
And you noticed the difference, right?
Of course.
Okay.
And it even helped with the sleep apnea machine.
Oh, good. Okay. So when you learn to breathe this way, you can change your whole life. Now, here you can do little tests with it. For instance, when you're driving in the car, and a cop pulls up behind you, and the lights are flashing, and even though he pulls around you, you feel this stress.
Oh, yes.
So you say, okay, let me... You start doing that breathing. You should be doing it all the time, but you do it a little more intently here. You will actually feel the flood of those excitement endorphins be replaced by the calming endorphins.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It is.
And it does. It works. I did another test once. I was, like I said, I'd been living in San Francisco, and I had learned this breathing, and I was doing this. And I moved back to the East Coast, and I went into a club. And, you know, a loud rock and roll club. Right. And at that time, it was smoky and it was loud. And all of a sudden, the kind of the excitement and the, you know, in a way, tension of that situation. And I said, let me try something. And I sat down, I started doing this breathing, and before you knew it, I had transported myself back to where I was in San Francisco. So it's actually a great thing. And so that's the belly breathing, and that's one of the first things I teach when we do shiatsu. Okay, we use that breathing, should be for every breath, but with a little more awareness to it, and it allows you to stay connected with that healing energy. All right,
and your higher self, because your higher self is always calmer than
I agree.
The others.
Yes.
So you will always learn how to just plug into that energy and feel the zen around you, feel the energy. You heal, you get calmer, you'll be able to concentrate, and you'll be able to be in the here and now instead of worrying about what you're doing, what you need to do, or what you haven't done.
Now, let me give you another little trick that we do in the Shiatsu class, and Glenda will remember this, and you can all do it out there with me, and it's really cool. And that is, so close your eyes for a second. Picture a clenched...
Unless you're driving.
Unless you're driving, thank you. Unless you're driving. Picture a clenched fist, and streaming out of that clenched fist are white strings. The strings are connected to your shoulders. The fist opens up, the strings fall out, and your shoulders just relax and release. And you can actually feel your shoulders just release. A lot of us wear our shoulders like earrings, you know. And when you do that, picture the clenched fist, strings coming out of the clenched fist, connecting to your shoulders. You open the fist, the strings fall out, and your shoulders just let go. When you do that, it becomes very apparent how much stress we're carrying around in our shoulders. And when you think about where the shoulders are, the fact that the shoulders are the connection to the neck is where the blood and oxygen go up to the brain. Think of what you're doing when you're releasing your shoulders and doing the breathing. You are now changing your whole relation to the world. Okay? And what I do when I teach voice, also same thing. And I give this little demonstration. When you fill up the belly, first of all, a nice thing for singers is, you know how when you're singing, sometimes you get to the end of a phrase and you're out of breath, and you can hear it. But if you do this kind of breathing, immediately you're always working with a full breath, a full column of air, because you're not trying to breathe, you're just letting your belly pop out, the air comes immediately flowing in, you can't stop it. And so I do this as a little example, and so it's like this. That was a little shorter than normal.
Yes.
But so it's like a bagpiper filling up that bag of air and then letting out little by little. And that leads me into another whole area, and that is the Kriya breathing that was brought to this country by Yogananda.
Well, before you go into the Kriya breathing,
Yes.
I just want to say I wish I'd have met you when I was in college, because I wound up getting cast in a lot of plays in a very heavily theater-oriented school, and I was the only guy in a class of theater majors. Everyone else was a co-ed, and the instructor said, "Okay, everyone breathe from the diaphragm," and I started to cry, and she said, "What's the matter?" I said, I've never used a diaphragm."
Larry!
You're right, Alice. All right, yeah.
The Kriya breathing.
The Kriya. Well, here's just, and I was telling Glenda that for me the Shiatsu is kind of a interesting addition to the spiritual path that I kind of explored through many areas. And my first introduction to any kind of Indian or Hindu philosophy there's a radio station in New York City called WBAI, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with, and they were advertising this gathering at something called Baba House, which I didn't know what it referred to, but I went, and there on the screen was this picture of this smiling guy named Mayor Baba. And Mayor Baba was the first one who kind of coined this idea of "don't worry, be happy." Now, that was before Bobby McFerrin's song. And I thought, okay, that's kind of an interesting idea, "don't worry, be happy," that you could actually make a decision to embrace that kind of philosophy. Okay, and his meditation and that the people who were followers of him kind of went along those lines. And then a number of years later, I was in L.A. visiting a friend, and I had no money, so I stayed at the Y. You could stay at a Y. And on the back of the toilet, there were these really beautiful little brochures with this guy with this beautiful long hair and this beatific-looking smile, and he was beautiful. And I read it, and it was this guy Yogananda, Paramahansa Yogananda, who some of you may know wrote the book Autobiography of a Yogi. Right. And I didn't know anything about him or who he was, and it looked very nice, and I thought, all right, well, okay, I'm not really doing that right now. The next day, my friend, who I was there to see, picked me up at the Y, and she said, "I want to bring you somewhere." It turned out she brought me to Yogananda's Lake Shrine, which was just outside of L.A., which had Gandhi's ashes there, and it was this beautiful chapel, and people all over the world were part of this thing that Yogananda had started called the Self-Realization Fellowship. And I found out that Yogananda in about 1900 was the first Indian guru who came to this country, and he was a sensation. He spoke in front of Congress and the UN. He was invited to the White House, and he was bringing this breathing kind of yoga, which was kind of related to the breathing I was talking about. And he wrote this book, Autobiography of a Yogi, and turned a lot of people on to this idea. So there she was, bringing me to the shrine of this guy who I saw in the back of the toilet, and it was pretty amazing to me. So now fast forward a little further, and I meet Ryoho, and we're doing these classes, and we go to Oregon, okay? And we go to this commune. This was back in those days. And there at this commune were scientists and artists and these people who were yogis. And who was the person they were following? Yogananda. There was the same picture of this beautiful guy. If you're not familiar with Yogananda, just look him up. Look up Autobiography of a Yogi. And a beautiful film was done a few years ago called Awake. About Yogananda and how he came to this country and the sensation, and very beautiful stuff. And so, and then I met this guy named Ramdas, Baba Ramdas, who some of you may know, who wrote this book, Be Here Now, okay, which was a worldwide sensation. Ramdas started out as Richard Alpert in Harvard. And he was a professor along with Timothy Leary. and they got into their LSD experiments, and they got fired from Harvard. And Leary kind of continued, but Richard Albert, he was not Ram Dass yet, went to India. He took a trip to India just to see what was going on. And, he was still personally doing the experiments with the LSD and stuff. And they're in India, and they are introduced to this little old man sitting on a blanket in a, naked guy on a blanket, and he was a guru, okay? I think his name was Maharaji. And all of a sudden, now here's this guy, Ram Dass, Richard Albert, from Massachusetts, rich family. His father is a big famous psychologist and all. All of a sudden, this guy starts telling him about his mother, about stuff that's going on, the cars that they drive. This guy knew all about him. It kind of blew his mind. And Richard Albert had some drugs with him, because the guy said, "Here, let me see." Guy swallows it all.
Wow.
The whole handful. And they go, "Oh, no, don't." And the guy just sat there, smiling at him. No effect. So Richard Albert became a student of this guy sitting on the blanket, and became Baba Ram Dass, okay, gave him a name. And when he came back to America, he could then, because he was an American and a teacher, he could then put into words so that Westerners and Americans could understand what the teachings of this guy was in a brand new way. And he wrote this book called Be Here Now.
Yes.
And I've been here ever since I read the book. And it's a beautiful philosophy. The stuff, he mingles all the religions, and by the way, I wanted to say one of the nice things about Yogananda's lake shrine was there was pictures of Jesus, there was pictures of Buddha, there was pictures of Hindu gods. A very inclusive kind of philosophy.
Because it isn't about religion.
Correct. And Ram Dass did the same thing.
Spiritual path.
Correct. Connected for me
many
through the
paths,
breath.
one truth.
Right, exactly. We're all connected. We're all connected in energy. We're all connected one to each other in love. And that is the teachings of all religions.
Exactly. So then when we do shiatsu, that is the healing power. That is, and probably Reiki as well.
Yes,
the healing energy is the awareness of what they say, Om. Okay, that universal deep vibration.
Yes.
That connects us all, that vibrates within us all.
The energy all around us.
Right. And so energy workers, those of us who learn to work with energy in that way, tap into that, connect into that. And, it is miraculous. I believe that there are miraculous healings that take place. There are incredible things that happen within our bodies that are well beyond the very narrow band of third-dimensional physical realm awareness we generally consider to be reality.
Correct.
Okay. For me, there is no supernatural. To me, that is a very limited term. Who are we to determine what's natural and what can we call beyond, calling it supernatural, above the natural? We know nothing or very little about how this experiment, how this mandala is arranged. And so I would suggest that we drop all judgment, all trying to conceptualized boundaries.
Correct.
We have no tools to know where those boundaries are.
No.
And so that's why I think Zen, the idea of Zen appeals to me, because they talk about the formless.
Exactly.
Ram Dass once said at the beginning of one of his speeches, he said, "We're going to speak about things which are unspeakable about," which was very nice.
Okay, we will be right back. We have to take a couple of minutes break. See you in a couple minutes.
you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? We can help you if you qualify. Your student loans can be taken out of default. We can stop the wage garnishments, stop the collection calls, and stop the seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and see if we can help you reduce your student loan payments. One quick 10-minute call could solve them right now. So call the Student Loan Helpline now. 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534. This is a fee-based document preparation service to help you access free government programs. Call for complete details, not available in all states.
When I need a cut, I go to Diamond Cuts. Ain't no half cutting there. Oh, yeah. Woo, man, at Diamond Cuts, their barbers got the freshest styles. Anything from fades, Caesars, high tops, blowouts, shape-up, tape-ups, and much more. Their barbers can cut men, women, children, young and old. Stop by Diamond Cut at 144 Pocono Boulevard in Mount Pocono, PA. Or just call at 570-216-4912. Ain't no half cutting there, baby paw. Yo, Stan, yo, Ant, yo, Black, yo, Light Skin, yo, E, where y'all at?
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-470-1834. 800-470-1834. 800-470-1834. That's 800-470-1834.
Attention, this important consumer alert is brought to you by Annuity Action Network. Hey, did you know it's possible to receive upfront money from your monthly settlement payments? It's true. If you receive monthly payments from an annuity or a structured settlement and you need a lump sum immediately, then you need to call Annuity Action Network. With your cash today, you can pay off credit card debt, pay medical bills, fund your education, or improve your home. You don't need to wait. Call the Annuity Action Network now to get your fast cash with no hidden costs. And if you call today, we'll even send you a $100 cash gift card just for verifying your settlement payments and your contact information. If you have a structured settlement or an annuity and you want cash now, call Annuity Action Network right now.
800-296-1553. 800-296-1553. That's 800-296-1553. Funding subject to approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug or alcohol addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan to receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits so that you have low or no out-of-pocket costs. We quickly help you verify your health insurance coverage amounts for substance abuse treatment so you can prepare for immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center now. Select from locations nationwide while receiving up to $30,000 or more in coverage through your private health insurance PPO plan if eligible. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier matching service available 24/7. We help you use your PPO private health insurance with low or no out-of-pocket costs.
Call now. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. That's 800-961-2480.
I'm going to tell you how you can get real health care for as little as $6 a day. Yes, now you can get affordable health care for you and your family immediately and save as much as 50% off your current monthly health care payments. Our plans are perfect for people that are self-employed, can't afford health benefits where they work, or just want to pay less for their current health care. And coverage is guaranteed regardless of your medical condition. We even offer some of the new Christian faith-based health benefits. Save up to 50% on your family's health care. Make a free quick call now. There are no contracts, and we give you a 10-day money-back trial period. Call Provision Enrollment right now for your risk-free, guaranteed health insurance quote starting at $6 a day.
800-398-0651. 800-398-0651. That's 800-398-0651.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contract. Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare guaranteed. With our guarantee and transfer service, you'll never pay another timeshare maintenance bill again, and your contract will be terminated. You can begin saving today, even if you've tried another company to get rid of your timeshare. Call and see if we can help. At Resort Release, we only accept payment after an agreement has been made to get you out of your timeshare. Make this completely free call and learn how this honest Midwest-based company can help anyone, anywhere, legally get out of their timeshare nightmare guaranteed. Call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Hi, this is Andrea Perrin. You're listening to Glenda's Dragon's Den, where everything is wild and untamed.
Welcome back to Glenda's Dragon's Den. And we're looking for some questions. If you have any questions about Shiatsu, or if you're interested in some of the non-denominational health benefits of Shiatsu and Reiki, you can go to glendasdragonsden.com and speak with Glenda, and at the end of the show, Renard's going to promote his class, so you'll be able to actually take class with Renard. Glenda, you wanted to get a little deeper into what Shiatsu is?
Yes. Renard, when you were teaching us, you made it a point for us not to remember every single detail, but just to close our eyes and feel the energy and kind of go into our own meditative state as we're doing it and receiving.
Like he said, just do Shiatsu, which is a little hard if you don't know what to do, but we use very simple diagrams. If you can picture a picture of a back, and then on the picture of a back, a line that goes, let's say, from the end, the outer edge of the shoulder where the arm connects, and the line would just go in towards the neck and then turn and go down one side of the spine, and then it would be mirrored on the other side. And that would be all we would need as a basic pattern to just follow that channel, from the out of the shoulder. And then with the eyes closed, utilizing the breathing, keeping that healing energy flowing, picturing like a blue flame shooting out the end of your finger, just making contact, let's say with the thumb or the other fingers, but a secure but built up from gradual to stronger pressure on those points. Another interesting thing about Shiatsu is it doesn't use the muscles of the arm as much as it uses gravity. So you position yourself in a place that is a little higher than the person who you're working on. So all you're actually doing is leaning, keeping a sustained pressure and leaning into that point, which you can build up lots of pressure. And if you bring it on very gradually, it's not painful. It's deep. And we also say to the person who we're working on, let the point I'm working on be a point of release for yourself. As you exhale, you feel yourself open up and let that pressure in. So it's a dance. It's actually a dance between the person who's giving the shiatsu and the person who's getting the shiatsu. And another important thing that we do is one hand is giving the shiatsu treatment with the thumb, let's say, and the other hand is resting gently on the person's shoulder or their back. So it's creating a circuit. And that circuit between you and the person that you're working on is where the knowledge of how they're feeling comes in. It's kind of an intuitive, meditative dance. But it really does work. You don't want a person to be intellectually thinking, oh, let's see. Oh, now I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to do the shoulder. Now, okay, am I doing it too much? You know, that is keep. You remember, Glenda, sometimes we said, sometimes the best shiatsu is when you're not even there at all. You're daydreaming. You forget that you were even doing it, and you come back and you go, wow, this is, this is, I guess this was really nice. And you find out that it's become this higher self is working on the person.
Okay. Now, for those who never seen shiatsu or never experienced shiatsu, and you speak about gravity, what does that mean? That is the person on the floor, on the table?
Good question. First of all, let me say that shiatsu is done fully clothed. Yes. Okay, there's no oils, there's nothing, you don't need anything but your hands, which is a great thing. Mm-hmm. All right, and so it's done in a few basic positions the way I do it. The lotus shiatsu that I do is the first position is the person is sitting, we used to say Indian style. If you can't do a lotus, that's fine, I can't. Just sitting with their legs crossed. And the shiatsu practitioner is kneeling on their knees behind them. So they are lower than you are. That way, when your thumb or your index finger is working on a point, all you need to do is lean in towards them, and gravity will allow you to build up some pressure. When the person is lying down, face down on a mat or something, and you are working over them, and you have, in this case, you can have two thumbs, you can have a full hand working on their back. All you need to do is lean down, and once again, gravity will allow you to build up a great amount of pressure. And I always say when people are doing it, okay, keep in mind it's not just the touch. It is that continuous awareness of that healing energy that is flowing out. So it's almost like Reiki with touch.
Yes.
And the touch is informed by that Reiki healing energy. So it's not like just coming up to someone and sticking your finger in their back. It is with an awareness, it's with a grace, it's with a building up of a gradual pressure to what could be a pretty deep pressure. And you're also, because your other hand is closing the circuit, you are in contact with them. So you're feeling, are they tightening up? Are they screaming? You know, somehow they're going to let you know whether it is pleasurable. There's nothing wrong with saying, is this pressure okay?
Renard, how do you determine where the points are?
Well, along the lines. Now, in Chinese acupuncture, there are meridian lines, and the meridian lines are the channels or the canals of energy. And you can look at any acupuncture chart, and you'll see there's hundreds and hundreds of them with various points all along, and each point is for a different thing. And not only is it for a different thing, but is there too much energy, or is there not enough energy? And traditional Chinese medicine, which takes a long time to learn, and especially if you're working with needles, you better learn every point and what needs to be done. With shiatsu, because there are no needles. It's much more relaxed, okay? And so one way to learn, a very important way to learn, is experience getting shiatsu yourself. So in my class, not only are you watching and observing, but then I work on everybody. And so what's happening is when you're doing shiatsu, that sense memory of what it felt like when you were being worked on, now you're doing that with somebody else. A circuit is closed. Now, to answer your question, how do you know what point? Once you start doing it, your fingers and your thumb start to become aware of certain areas, okay? For instance, on either side of the spine, there's something called the dura mater, and that is like a channel, like a canal. And actually, if you felt on either side of the spine, you would feel like a little channel that you can slide your fingers down. All along that channel, there are points, okay?
Yep.
And so the combination of the knowledge of where that channel is, and that's one of the things you learn, a simple
Yes.
diagram.
Very simple.
Okay, and keeping that healing energy going, all right, and keeping the circuit going with your other hand, you're starting to read. You can feel whether it's tense or tight or a knot there, okay? If you feel, if you press on a point, you feel the person tighten up, you know immediately that's a painful spot for them.
That's a hot spot.
A hot spot, right, okay. So then what I do is I say, okay, great. Breathe, let that point be, and I gentle up my touch, and then very gradually, as they're breathing, build up the pressure. And I give them the sense memory or the guided meditation, say, okay, breathe. Where that point is, let it be a point of release for yourself. With each exhalation, you feel that blockage melt away. And what happens? Many times.
Return it to pancakes.
And you, that same point that was painful a moment ago, now I'm pressing pretty hard with the and it's not painful anymore. And then we move down to the next spot. So it's a combination of some knowledge and some intuition and some listening very closely and remembering what it felt when it was worked on you.
Right.
Well, the reason I asked is because I used to have traditional acupuncture from a woman who learned in China and came here, became the dean of her college. And she used to take 7 organ pulses to determine the organs and which organs needed attention. And then she once said to me that, I can use 10 or 20 different points to address that blockage. And then she would put 20 needles in me for treatment.
Yes.
So if you do the math, intuitively, she was really on overtime. So it's nice to know that you're also doing that intuitive piece, which seems to be very important, and you can teach that through the experience of the student, I guess.
It's true. And so the woman that you worked with was not a Zen priest, most likely. She was an acupuncturist.
Right.
Okay, it's a totally different. That's why Ryoho would say, that's just theory, just do shiatsu. He didn't want us to get blocked up. I never would have studied with him if we had to memorize hundreds and hundreds of points and meridians and, that's great. That's great. But I'm a improviser when I play music. It's a whole different thing. And so I found with Ryoho something that I could learn to do. It's very real. It's not a total improvisation in the sense, just like improvisating on music is not a total out there thing, which you can do as well. But mostly when musicians improvise, they're using a blues scale or they're using some form to center and then take off from. So in shiatsu, we're using this knowledge, the awareness, the breathing, the visualization, and these basic drawings, these basic pattern drawings. Now, we do speak about there are some areas you don't want to press, the carotid artery. There are some things that if you pressed on too long or too hard, you could do harm. And we go over that. And that's important to be aware of. So, yes, this is why we call it Lotus Shiatsu. Now, I'm sure there are people who are trained in Shiatsu who are trained like the acupuncturist with a great knowledge of the meridians and this point and that point and how to take the pulse and So I am not saying anything against people who are traditionally trained shiatsu practitioners. That's great. I happen to have had the good fortune to meet a guy who was kind of a rebel. A Japanese Zen priest who was also a rebel, who recognized there was another way to approach it. Okay.
Well, when Glenda does her psychic tools classes and her psychic mediumship training classes, everyone who walks in the door is able pretty much to learn how to open up and receive those messages. When Andrea goes out and helps people see fifth dimensionally and see the craft in the skies, she has tremendous success as well. Do you find that the students that come into your classroom, for the most part, are able to open up that intuitive channel, particularly as you're working on them? Perhaps, like you said, that circuit is completed by both you working on them and then they working on each other and you.
They do. Mm-hmm.
And so you have tremendous success with those students.
I believe so. And, as a student, Glenda can talk about
40 years.
40 plus years.
It's been a long time of great experience doing it. That's right.
That's wonderful.
And people come to me for treatments as well. Mm-hmm. And pretty much everybody feels at least greatly relaxed and a good flow of energy when we're done. There are, of course, and I make no medical claims about it, there are things that what I'm doing is not going to address, if you have bone spurs or if you have compressed discs and stuff. However, interestingly enough, there are people who do come who have those kind of chronic problems. And if you know a little bit about what happens in that pain process, is there a cascading pain that happens and there are referred pain. So you might have something really physiologically going on, but what happens as a result of it, your walk changes, your gait changes, how you deal with gravity changes, which sets up other problems. So what I can do with the shiatsu, even though if I can't address a herniated disc, which I can't, I can help relieve those other areas down the line that are coming from dealing with that pain and reopen a flow of energy. You can say energy, which is kind of the metaphysical way to look at it, but also the flow of blood and oxygen, which is the real physical nitty-gritty stuff that's going on, and the two things work together.
Well, the nerves tell the rest of the body where to have that blood flow, and so when you unblock the nerve meridians, then the body can, we need some blood over there, and
that's right. And so there are spasms.
Right.
Okay. And what swelling is your body trying to make a cast.
Right.
Okay. And what often
mobilize.
Right, exactly. And then what happens often, now I also study neuromuscular therapy. I'm also certified in sports massage and deep muscle massage. Actually, when I came back from California, there was no certification for shiatsu. I mean, I learned from this guy, closing my eyes, and that doesn't work when you want to work at a resort or give regular massages. So I actually went back to school. I went back to a place called Health Options Institute in Northampton, Pennsylvania. Studied with some great people, and I got certified in like I said, not neuromuscular therapy, although I did all the classes. I didn't take the tests because I didn't need that. But I did sports massage and deep muscle massage. And so I got those certifications. So now I'm losing my train of thought here a little bit. Let's see if it pulls into the station. What was your question again?
Well, my thought was that when you address the nerves and unblock
that's
the energy.
it. I'm sorry. I got it now. So what I was talking about is what happens sometimes is you pull your back, let's say. Now you got a spasm. That's your body responding to that shock that has happened to the nerve. Sometimes that spasm will release, but that shock is still there. And sometimes it won't release. The thing that caused it is not there anymore, but your body did not get the message that it could now let up. That self-protection mechanism that's happened. And what we do with Shiatsu is we interrupt electrically that message that was telling it to tense up for self-protection. When we press on those points along that pattern I was talking about, and the breathing and the whole thing, it allows it to relax. So it works on an electrical level as well. Kind of interesting.
Well, Michelle in chat is sold. She says, great, where can I get this done?
Yeah. Well, okay. Glenda, you want to talk about that?
Right. Well, we're planning to have classes soon and at my office. And if you need to get in touch with Renard, you could get in touch with me, and I will put you to.
And we can probably do some treatments there.
Yes,
too,
we could do.
Like.
We could do treatments in the office.
So the answer, Michelle, I guess, would be to look Glenda up either through Glenda's Dragon's Den, which will take you to Glenda's Magical Creations and put you in direct contact with her, and then depending on when Renard is available, she will pass that along to Renard.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be nice.
And then I want you to take a step forward, and when we come back from the break, we're going to look at life after Shiatsu, or what you do in your spare time.
Your spare time.
Because that's pretty interesting as well. And you have a show coming up, don't you?
Well, a performance of music. Actually, there's a couple of important things coming up. The live performance will be with my band, Renard Cohen and Friends, some great musicians in the area, and we'll be performing at the Shawnee Craft Brewery, right on the premises there, the Shawnee Inn, right on the Delaware. And that will be Friday, April 5th from 7 to 10. So come on out if you can do that. And we'll also be very soon starting something called the One Earth Song Project. And if we get a chance, I'd like to sing for you the One Earth Song. I'm also a musician.
Well, we will make sure that we have that chance in the last segment.
Good. All right.
So, yes, we are going to get to that. And so, Michelle, if you're local to the Poconos and you want to meet Renard in person, then perhaps you will be available. What's the date again?
That is April 5th at the Shawnee Inn, the Shawnee Craft Brewery, which is right on the Delaware. And if you go to shawneeinn.com, and then you'll see a place where you can click on the craft brewery, and it'll tell you a little bit about it.
Well, that's great. So, Michelle, as you see, when you ask questions in chat, we do try to address them. And also, speaking of addressing, please, again, do send your healing energy to Lil Gray at the New Georgia Animal Hospital. Dr. Luger and Dr. Alexander are doing their best to see that she's back on her paws. Glenda, did you want to mention anything that's coming up?
Well, I do have a lot of classes coming up. I have quite a few Reiki training classes. So if you look up in Meetup or just in...
Where in Meetup? Meetup's a big,
Glenda's
scary place.
Dragon's Den.
I've heard that place.
Yes.
That's pretty dark and pleasant, comfy, relaxing place, isn't it?
The handcuffs or no handcuffs?
Sure.
Okay. Anyway,
you guys.
You could look me up there, and you could see all the classes that we have. And when we have Renard having the classes in the office, they will will be listed there.
So it sounds like the common denominator is Glenda'sDragonsDen.com, on Meetup, on Facebook.
Yep.
So with that, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, maybe we can use a little pressure to get Renard to play his new song and talk about some of what he does in his time away from the table.
Yes.
And there is no table. It's on the floor.
The table is in your mind.
In your mind.
I was talking about a dinner break. But
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? We can help you if you qualify. Your student loans can be taken out of default. We can stop the wage garnishments, stop the collection calls, and stop the seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and see if we can help you reduce your student loan payments. One quick 10-minute call could solve them right now. So call the Student Loan Helpline now. 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534. This is a fee-based document preparation service to help you access free government programs. Call for complete details, not available in all states.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contract. Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare guaranteed. With our guarantee and transfer service, you'll never pay another timeshare maintenance bill again, and your contract will be terminated. You can begin saving today, even if you've tried another company to get rid of your timeshare. Call and see if we can help. At Resort Release, we only accept payment after an agreement has been made to get you out of your timeshare. Make this completely free call and learn how this honest Midwest-based company can help anyone, anywhere, legally get out of their timeshare nightmare guaranteed. Call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation.
800-598-0539, 800-598-0539, 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
When I need a cut, I go to Diamond Cuts. Ain't no half cutting there. Oh, yeah. Woo, man, at Diamond Cuts, their barbers got the freshest styles. Anything from fades, seasons, high tops, blowouts, shape-up, tape-ups, and much more. Their barbers can cut men, women, children, young and old. Stop by Diamond Cut at 144 Pocono Boulevard in Mount Pocono, PA. Or just call at 570-216-4912. Ain't no half cutting there, baby paw. Yo, Stan, yo, Ann, yo, Black, yo, Light Skin, yo, E, where y'all at?
If you or someone you love suffers from drug or alcohol addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan to receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits so that you have low or no out-of-pocket costs. We quickly help you verify your health insurance coverage amounts for substance abuse treatment so you can prepare for immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center now. Select from locations nationwide while receiving up to $30,000 or more in coverage through your private health insurance PPO plan if eligible. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier matching service available 24/7. We help you use your PPO private health insurance with low or no out-of-pocket costs.
Call now, 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. That's 800-961-2480.
Attention, this important consumer alert is brought to you by Annuity Action Network. Hey, did you know it's possible to receive upfront money from your monthly settlement payments? It's true. If you receive monthly payments from an annuity or a structured settlement and you need a lump sum immediately, then you need to call Annuity Action Network. With your cash today, you can pay off credit card debt, pay medical bills, fund your education, or improve your home. You don't need to wait. Call the Annuity Action Network now to get your fast cash with no hidden costs. And if you call today, we'll even send you a $100 cash gift card just for verifying your settlement payments and your contact information. If you have a structured settlement or an annuity and you want cash now, call Annuity Action Network right now.
800-296-1553. 800-296-1553. That's 800-296-1553. Funding subject to approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-470-1834. 800-470-1834. 800-470-1834. That's 800-470-1834.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? We can help you if you qualify. Your student loans can be taken out of default. We can stop the wage garnishments, stop the collection calls, and stop the seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and see if we can help you reduce your student loan payments. One quick 10-minute call could solve them right now. So call the Student Loan Helpline now. 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534. This is a fee-based document preparation service to help you access free government programs. Call for complete details, not available in all states.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug or alcohol addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan to receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits so that you have low or no out-of-pocket costs. We quickly help you verify your health insurance coverage amounts for substance abuse treatment so you can prepare for immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center now. Select from locations nationwide while receiving up to $30,000 or more in coverage through your private health insurance PPO plan if eligible. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier matching service available 24/7. We help you use your PPO private health insurance with low or no out-of-pocket costs.
Call now. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. That's 800-961-2480.
And welcome back to Glenda's Dragons Den.com on Meetup and on Facebook, where hopefully you're live and in the chat with us. We are going to be graced with a song or two because, as Renard had said, he also is a composer, and he just, I believe, has created and produced a new song. Renard, can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to play for us?
Sure. I would just like to start by saying, we're talking about the shiatsu and the massage, and at one point I had a pain treatment office here in the Poconos, and one day I was working on someone, and I had also been playing a lot of gigs at that time, and the realization dawned on me that this was the same place, playing the music and doing the shiatsu and the massage. My mind was at the same place, which was a beautiful realization. And so, yeah, I've been a musician my whole life. A number of years ago, I got into television production. My brother and I have a company called Resolution Pictures, and we do shows for the Food Network and did projects for National Geographic and PBS. I even won an Emmy for a 5-part miniseries we did for PBS. And
well, what was the miniseries?
It was called Seasoned with Spirit, where we followed a Native American chef all throughout the United States. We ran with the buffalo. We were at the Yurok with the salmon harvest. We were with the Houma people in the bayous of Louisiana, who were the Native Americans who taught the French Canadians how to cook when they were expelled from Canada. That became Cajun cooking.
And did you get any tongue, or is that too Dancing with Wolves?
No, but we got alligator, and no, it was.
Well, that's a crock.
No, it was great. So, fortunately got to express that way, and then we did a film called Groundswell Rising: Protecting Our Children's Air and Water, which is a film about the resistance to fracking that's going on all over the country. And that film was in 12 film festivals, and Natalie Merchant's in that film, and Mark Ruffalo, and it's a very influential film still, and very proud of it. And the follow-on to that project is this. I wrote a song with my producing partner. His name is Brian Van Korn, and it's called One Earth Song. And this song is now part of something called the One Earth Song Project, which is going to be released very soon. We are finishing up the video that will go with it. And the One Earth Song Project works like this. There's going to be a website. You can download the song for free. You can download the video. But we're inviting artists to create work to put up on this site, okay? Visual artists, poets, musicians, whatever. And then people are going to be encouraged to tune into the site, and if they like a piece of work, to make a donation to this One Earth Song Project, and then they can download the music, they can download the photograph, the picture, and then what we're going to do is the money that comes in, we are going to divide it with the groups that are working so hard to protect our environment, like the Sierra Club Food and Water Watch, Water Defense, Burke's Gas Truth, a lot of the organizations that I worked with on Groundswell Rising. So you're going to be able to turn your art into something that is going to be utilized to help protect the environment, which is good. It's like an ongoing benefit concert or an ongoing benefit art sale. So,
and how will artists be able to find you?
The site will be up. The website is One Earth. I think it's oneearthsong.com. If I'm not mistaken, but you will see it, and Glenda will have it, and we'll have it on the Facebook. And if you just put in One Earth Song Project, it will come up. Yeah, there's a website. So we've been doing this song live, and we invite people to sing at the end. It's a One Earth Song, One Earth Song. Everybody sing along for the weak and the strong. Everybody sing along. You know, we live in a world where the idea of one earth sort of has taken a back seat to us or them or me, or they're doing this or we shouldn't do that. When I was growing up, 60s and the whole thing, the idea of sharing the earth, of being on this planet Earth together and doing what we can for each other, that's what most motivates me, and that's at the heart of my soul, and I think a lot of other people, so I'm hoping this song will give voice to that sentiment in them as well, and that's the wonder of song. We're going to invite people to tape themselves singing the song all around the world and send it to us, and we'll put it up on the website, and we'll have the whole world joining in song. One Earth Song, One Earth Song. Everybody sing along. So that's the chorus. It goes, caribou, thunder across the snow-white sea. Eagles cry out as they soar so free. She-wolf howls on a misty mountain morn. They're all singing one Earth song. Levels rise, ice caps melt, storms rush in. Balance lost, we need it back again. Doing nothing, it just goes on and on. We must hear the mother's song. Join her now and sing along. Come on, sing with me. One Earth Song, One Earth Song. Yeah. Everybody sing along. For the weak, for the weak. Yeah, the strong. Everybody sing along. Our world spins out in space, full of beauty, such a fragile place. We must stand up for life that's here and save our gardens here. Oh, one Earth Song, One Earth Song. Everybody sing along. For the weak, for the weak, for the weak, and the strong, and the strong. Everybody sing along. Earthquakes rage when they weren't before. Do we close the door and just ignore? Is it too late to change your ways? Or could this be our final days? Final days. Final days. Now that we sing along, one Earth Song, One Earth Song. Everybody sing along. For the weak, yeah, strong. Everybody sing along. Mother, we love you. We love you, and you love us. Sing one Earth Song. One Earth Song. Mother, we love you. Keep going. We love everybody sing along. One Earth Song. One Earth Song. One Earth Song. Everybody sing along.
You know, when you agreed to bring your guitar, I was texting Ashley and I threatened to do a duet with you. And
Jesus. I did warn Glenda. I'm like, did you know there was going to be a duet happening? She's like, oh God, no. I went to the moratorium.
I'm glad you did.
But meanwhile, we're sitting 5 feet away from each other. Laughing.
Well, all right. Do we got time for one more tune?
Yeah.
Here's. I noticed a while ago that you know they talk about the legend of the ostrich, how they put their heads in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who want to do that about what's going on in the world today, especially about climate change and equality and a lot of stuff. And
Or some people find a warmer orifice.
they do. and part of the problem was I realized when your head's in the sand, your butt's in the air, and probably not a good thing. So we have a dance here.
Mm-hmm.
And though some of you can see it, but some of you are hearing this on radio. So the way that you do the ostrich is you put your head in the sand and you shake your tail feathers, okay? And here's the song that goes with it. When your butt's in the air, your head... try it again. When your butt's in the air. Okay. When your head's in the sand, your butt's in the air. You don't know nothing, you're not going nowhere. You say, leave me alone, I just wanna hide. It's not my concern, I'm not that type of guy. Do the ostrich, yeah, put your head in the sand, shake that, bend down low. We will fix it, so you don't have to know. But you can't stop adding to your mansion of dreams. You just want what's yours, and then you want mine. You're playing the game, you're biding your time. Do the ostrich, bend down low. We will fix it, so you don't have to know. It's a big healthy world, there is no climate change. That is just some hippie myth from drugs on the brain. And how could anyone starve when we got so much food? I could lose a few pounds if I got in the mood. Do the ostrich, bend down low. Oh, we will fix it, so you don't have to know. Everybody sing. Do the ostrich, bend down low. Oh, we will fix it, so you don't have to know. All right.
Very good.
Bunch of ostrich dancers right here in the studio. It's too bad you can't see them.
I didn't feel like sticking my
They're
butt in
gonna
the
need
air.
some shiatsu when
Would have
we're
taken
done.
up like both cameras.
All right.
Sure.
Although it might help the fundraising drive.
I doubt it.
Anyway, as you guys can see, just because we do something that has to do with energy, we don't just have to do that. We could participate in every single facet that we can, and it's available out there to help the earth, to help the environment, to help us as a union, as a oneness, not just me, myself, and I. There's no reason to be like that. And, I am so grateful that I have had a chance to learn, experience, and now hear these great songs. So, anybody else have anything you were going to tell us about?
Trains left.
Yeah, the train just left. All I could tell you is that once Renard teaches you, you will really know how zen you could feel. I know that when I took his class at first, I was a little skeptical and very hesitant, actually, if I remember correctly.
As well you should be.
Yes. And once I started seeing how it was done and how very safe and secure he is. He isn't wavery. He knows exactly what he's doing. He could sense. He's doing it intuitively. And it's just, you actually feel like you melt like butter like a pancake. And we keep joking about, okay, where's the big spatula so we can turn you over?
I used to have a boneless chicken guarantee.
Yes.
at my office. And we used to have a newsletter called the Loose Goose Gazette. So that was the goal, yes. Getting people just to feel like a boneless chicken. Just let that stress just melt away. And then, like I said, with the music, I realized it was coming from that same kind of heart center, maybe, that healing place, but put into sound.
And you heal with the music.
You do.
You heal others with the music.
Right. And so it's been a great opportunity teaching these classes and meeting students in this area, and we're not overrun with many people because, like you're saying, there are a lot of people who are a little hesitant, they don't actually, even though we say finger pressure, they think, oh, needles, I'm not going near that, which neither would, I've had acupuncture, and it's very effective and it's great, but it's not something you're just going to want to take a couple of classes and do.
No.
And our classes, they last 6 weeks, and I tell people, and we have them sign a paper that they understand. We're not saying you're going to go out and be a Shiatsu practitioner after 6 weeks. However, this could be the beginning of a journey that could lead there. And
I've actually gone back 3 times, actually.
Right.
Yes.
Three. And that's right. We encourage people who've taken the class to come back and do it again and again because it deepens.
Yes.
Each time deepens. I mean, it's the kind of thing that to become really comfortable with it takes a long time. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of opportunities to practice what you learn in the class. So it's in the class that you get to work on each other.
Right.
I get to work on you, although I encourage every student to have a full Shiatsu treatment with me sometime so they can, like we were talking about, there is that you're doing it and you're remembering what it felt like when it was done to you, and now a circuit is consummated, right, which works really well.
So Elaine in the chat room was asking about other reasons why people might do Shiatsu other than just that they feel sore or, the physiological benefit that comes from it. Do people come to you for awakenings, and does that sometimes help them to self-actualize?
I think people are surprised when they find out that when they come to the Shiatsu classes, that's what they're getting. Mm-hmm. They don't expect that that's what's going to happen. They mostly think it's going to be this, you press here for 2 seconds, then you move here they're surprised at the deep level that we're doing this, and fortunately I was taught that way by Ryoho. Not everybody learns Shiatsu from a Zen priest. You see, that's part of the unique beauty of it, and that's why I'm always so grateful, as this was the opportunity I had, and so I'm so gratified to be able to share it, to pass it on. So to answer your question, people do come. Well, they're surprised at the level that we're doing it on, okay? And they're not, there's no way that they know that it involves this great awareness of healing energy, of ki energy, as the Japanese call it, okay? And they get that even before we even do any Shiatsu, we do the breathing. Okay, and we do the breathing, and we do like a guided meditation where we bring once we get the breathing going, and we visualize a healing ball of energy in the center of the circle. And that is connected with our breath, and we imagine it coming into our hearts, and then our fingers Our palms are out and the fingertips are facing each other. And as we breathe, we can actually feel that energy shooting between the tips of our fingers. And so it makes it very real that this healing energy, which is the basis of the whole thing, and I never let anybody forget, right? That's
nope.
what we're using. It's not tactile. It's not finger pressure. The fingers are the tool that we're using to conduct the energy into the other person. And so when you're doing that for a while, you can't help but go into another state of awareness as well, especially when it's being connected with your breath.
Well, Glenda can attest to my deep humility and self-deprecation and shyness. So I have to admit that was not my question, but that was Elaine's question. And I think you did a wonderful job in answering it. And what occurred to me as you were answering it is that as the energetic circle completes the circuit, it seems to me that a lot of what you just said has affected the lyrics that we just heard.
Yes.
There's no separation, I was once taught. It's all part of it's coming from the same place. So yes, the lyrics are motivated by that same heart space, that same healing space. And, when I was a young man in the 60s and started writing songs back then, that was Phil Oakes was a big influence on me, and Dylan, not as much as Phil Oakes. Phil Oakes was a little more direct in what he said. And, of course, Pete Seeger and all that. During that time, for you youngsters who don't remember, we did believe that we could change the world with song. And we still believe that, and we're still doing it every day. And I'm still very glad to be still doing it after all these years. And sound, as those of us who hang out in the Dragon's Den know, sound carries healing vibrations without any words. And when we put them with words that come from the heart, come from an awareness of spreading positive, loving, healing energy, that's a pretty good combination. And then what Glenda does with the Reiki is she's directing that energy, and what we're doing with the Shiatsu, we are combining it with an awareness and a loving, healing touch as well. Exactly. So there's no separation. It's all together.
And I don't know if you're aware, but back when Glenda was taking the classes, she had not ascended and been attuned to the level she is now. She's now at 20th level in the Sui and at least a 9th level in the right-hand path and other modalities that she practices. So she packs quite a wallop herself. I find it interesting that back in the 60s, there was this intuitive knowing about how different things can change the world. And now we have quantum physics where we have proof that particles and the direction of particles can be changed with intention.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, hopefully all of us can get together and own that power that the Creator has imbued us with and put it to good use as opposed to self-focused use,
right,
which is being proselytized from the top down.
That's right. So thoughts are things.
Yes.
Thoughts have energy. Words have energy. Intention, like you said. And you can make a decision not to carry around gossip, not to carry around negativity. And one thing that Ryoho used to say all the time, we'd get into a little squabble or whatever. No negativity. No negativity. Make it conscious that you're falling into that. Stop. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be drawn into that. And it's not airy-fairy. It's deep, and it's connected to how you do everything. Okay? He made us everything. He wanted everything to be done with a complete awareness, an impeccableness, a self-control, okay, because, and he always would let us know that's a choice. He would say, and this may come from, sometimes when you have somebody, English is not their first language, they sound so wise because they don't know how to babble on and say too much. And it may have been a little of this with Yoho, but he used to say, when he was trying to tell you to elevate to a certain understanding and grasp, he would say, jump up. It's just right away. Just get it. Jump up. Which was great.
Well, what I've always found, and what I've tried to put into my lyrics and what I heard you put into yours, is the truth doesn't need a big explanation. Truth can be conveyed very simply because truth is very simple. All you need is love. Truth in and of itself is powerful.
Yes.
And just embracing the opportunity for positivity itself could change the world. Ashley, do you have any questions? You've been awfully quiet, except telling me to hush.
Well, you make silly Dragon Dad jokes. How can you tell when someone is on the up and up as a Shiatsu practitioner? What are some things maybe people should be looking out for?
Okay, that's a good question. Fortunately, I don't think there's a lot of phony Shiatsu people running around. It's kind of rare to find somebody who does it in the first place. But I would suggest if somebody is saying that they're a Shiatsu practitioner, go get a treatment. And you will be able to feel whether this person, does it feel like they're just pressing and moving around because they read a book or they looked at a diet and there's nothing behind it, okay?
Yeah.
So, a very big part of the initial thing that we do when we start a Shiatsu treatment is the person is sitting down, like I said. The very first thing we do is we put a full palm right on the center of the spine. And that is the hello. That is the beginning of the addressing the person. And you do it with all your awareness, all your love, but all your confidence, so they can feel that you're sure about what you're doing. And as we do that, we work down the spine with that full palm. And the person can really feel, okay, this person has a good touch. I feel like they're confident. And that's what... So to answer your question, in the Shiatsu treatments that we do and what we teach is that's the very first thing. And of course, the other hand is connected with that circuit, and you work down the spine just like this, because in working in the Shiatsu itself, you're working with the thumb on a particular point, or the different fingers, even sometimes two fingers. But the very first thing is that hi, hello, here I am. And not only is the person feeling your energy, but you're feeling their energy.
It's a complete connection of higher self to higher self.
Right. Okay, connected with the breathe. And,
yep.
And I say to the person, okay, breathe with me. And I tell them I'm not going to do any fast move. I'm not doing a chiropractic adjustment. I'm not going to wrench them around. Everything is nice and gradual, okay, and relaxed. I say breathe, and as you exhale, allow yourself relax and release into what we're doing. So it's a guided meditation at the same time. So probably you may not find a lot of people who do it exactly as I do it, because I had the great good fortune of learning from somebody who was a pioneer. But to answer your question, the quickest way is to, and if you're not sure, say, okay, here, just work on my hand. Work on my hand for a minute.
You'll know right away.
You'll know. You'll feel it.
The difference.
If they're working on your hand the proper way, you're going to want to close your eyes and breathe.
And you would say, okay, it hurts a little more here, and you'll want to continue.
Right. So, you have to use your best intuition and your common sense.
Okay.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us and educating us on Shiatsu and sharing your wonderful song, kind of a world premiere, at least on the internet.
Maybe we'll come back sometime when it's open, when it's on,
Yes.
the One Earth Song project, and we can talk about it and play the recording and get some folks, some of the artists who are taking part, some of the really nice artists who are doing environmental work, and anybody out there who is an artist, and if you would like to, my email address is renco, RENCO, at P as in Peter, T as in Tom, D as in dog.net. If you would like to contact me, if you have a piece of art that you would like us to consider for the One Earth Project, send it to me. Contact me. We're looking for contributions of art. Turn it into environmental power.
Renard, my good sir, have you planned a launch party for this event yet?
We are not. We want to do one. Why, you got some ideas?
I have a space. Would you like to do one?
You mean here or another space you have?
Yeah, we have an office in the back.
You know, that would be very nice. Let's talk about that. Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
All right.
So give me that email address one more, and I'll put it on the chat.
Okay, it's Renco, RENCO, at P as in Peter, T as in Tom, D as in dog.net. That's my personal email address, which I promise I won't use for anything of national security.
You're definitely not built to be a secretary, Larry, with the way you're pecking at the keyboard.
You couldn't tell that when I shook my ass when I walked in the room. And your Shawnee event is April 5th.
April 5th at the Shawnee Craft Brewery, 7 to 10. Please come out and see the band, and we'll be doing most likely the One Earth Song and lots of my songs, plus some Grateful Dead, some Dylan, some Beatles, some freeform jazz and space music. We have a good time. Oh yeah.
And did I hear you say you had another event?
Not that I can remember.
Okay, well.
Doesn't mean I don't.
We're working on that event.
Yeah, we are.
We just thought of it now.
Yes, maybe we'll do the record release party here. Who knows?
Yeah, baby.
That could be the Timothy Leary, Ram Dass influence.
Exactly. Yeah. One can only hope.
And Ashley, my wonderful co-host, engineer, program director of WYLD. What's up? What do you got next week?
I got my show next week. You can see my shirt, my fancy new shirt.
That's quite a show.
It's Geeked Out. We talk about anime and video games and the weird culture that has birthed between the two. It's 2 hours of insanity. We have like a 10-minute intermission in between the hours so we can go, get a glass of water so we don't die.
And did I see you were actually looking for a morning drive host?
Yes, we are, in fact, looking for someone peppy and energetic to be a morning show DJ. So if you know someone or you are that someone, hit me up. Go to Wild FM. You can contact me there on the contact page, wyld.fm. Find us on Facebook, WYLD-FM. Send a message. Send a smoke signal. Send a psychic message. I will find a way to get to you.
But ideally, are you looking for Korean Japanese pop or?
I would love that, but that might have to be a night show. I love K-pop and J-pop. It's my special dream for that to be just a wacky morning show. But maybe that'll have to be a specialty thing every once in a while. We're looking for like a peppy top 40 host. Mm-hmm. Or maybe somebody like a Balance and Mouse, kind of like a yin and yang sort of feel to them.
So here's your opportunity. All of the Poconos, the Stroudsburg, East Stroudsburg students. It's not that hard. Get a hold of Ashley, and if you have the interest, she will bring you along. And Glenda,
yes.
What would you like to say in promoting what's coming up?
Well, I would like to say thank you to everybody that was here. Renard, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's always a pleasure to see you and speak to you.
Thank you.
And all the great things that are happening to you right now or about you. Ashley, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
And I want to say next week we have a very cool program. We are bringing a very special guest founders and members of the paranormal team Core Phenomena Research.
I'm so excited.
Johnny and Lisa Hotchkiss.
That's going to be so much fun. We're going to talk about ghost stuff for 2 hours. I'm going to die.
No, you're not.
That's going to be so much fun. Oh, die of excitement.
I don't want to bring you back.
But they could talk to me. We could do...
Reiki is good, but I really don't want to bring you back.
You definitely don't want mouth-to-mouth from me.
No.
So-
I'll just be like, oh, nope, I'm good. I'm good, I'm here. I'm all right.
Yep. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everyone that participated in the chat room. And we will see you again. Again, this is Glenda's Dragon's Den, and I'm your host, Glenda. Bye.